Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today I'm going to show you how to make a cute little tin that you could put a small gift in, and it's super fun and quick and easy to make. So the first thing I'm doing is starting with a empty oval tin from our sponsor Paper Mart. You can find them online at www.papermart.com, and I will have this linked up in the video description along with other products that I use. And we are going to paint the surface using some chalk paint. Chalk paint is really good for this because it you can see how it sticks really well to different surfaces that are shiny. You could go ahead and wipe this down with like a tissue with alcohol on it if you're concerned that it might be you know, greasy, but this paint seems to be sticking just fine. I'm going to give it a nice coat on both the bottom edge and the lip. So I'm just kind of getting this cool scrumbly texture here. And the other benefit about chalk paint is that it's going to dry really quick for us. And it didn't even take very much. Now we have all this leftover paint. I'll have to find something to do with because it just kind of sits on top. So there we have that coated very, very well. And now we're going to do some stamping. I'm just going to set my paint aside and set that tin aside to dry. And what I did was I traced my tin on a piece of just regular cardstock, and I was really excited to use some new stamps for this. So these are just this is what it kind of looks like stamped out. That was just my little practice one. These layering stamps from Stampin' Up, and I'm going to take the bottom part of the cupcake wrapper. Let me get my 3 pieces here. I want to use the one that's got more of a solid area first. It's just how I like to work. You can do your darker layers first. This just works pretty well for me. And I'm going to stamp that close to the bottom of my circle. I'm making sure that my little arrangement that I'm doing is going to fit on the lid. And then I'm going to go to the next one, and I'm going to stamp in a darker blue. This is Summer Sky by Memento. It's just a really light sky blue. Now I'm going to go with Bahama Blue, which is more of like a turquoise color. And I mean, these colors, probably there's ones that are more recommended because they're closer to each other, but these are just what I had. And I'm going to try to line that up pretty well without sticking my head in the shot, which can be a little difficult. But I think it'll be fine. So cute. I'm a little off, but I think it's fine. And then we're going to do a navy blue and this final layer. I usually have my head right over where I'm stamping to keep everything lined up, so that's why I'm a little off, because I can't do that because of the way my camera's positioned. There, unless you want to look at my hair, and quite frankly, I need to do my roots, so you don't need to see that. And now I'm going to stamp the cupcake top, and I've got 3 top pieces. And I'm going to start with and this is opposite than the way they advise doing it on the on the package, but I like to start with my biggest piece first and do the lightest color. I guess if you're doing like a cream, like a vanilla cupcake frosting, you'd want to start with your darker color because it'd be really hard to see that to line it up. Get that on there. I'm going to do my middle one with kind of a middle pink. I like these small ink pads. You can use any size ink pad, but I just kind of like this because I can have so many colors on my desk at once while I'm working. And then we're going to do the final one on the top. Here it is. And we'll do that with ruby red. And I use different brands of ink together. It doesn't hurt anything as long as you're using the same type of ink. These are all dye inks. Pigment inks will give you different effects if you mix them with dye inks. And sometimes it gives you really cool effects. But as long as you keep your dyes with dyes and your pigments with pigments, they're going to work fine. And now I'm going to stick a little mask on there because I want to stamp the candle. So I'm just going to set that on there. And I just basically stamped the biggest cupcake on a Post-it note and cut it out so that I had some of that stamping on the sticky part, so that will just protect it. Because I want to put the cupcake and not have it 2 pieces like I had here. I want to be able to stamp it all as one. So I'm going to stamp the darker one first just because that light green is very hard to see. So I'm going to do the darker green on the little cupcake detail here and stamp that on top. I want to make, and the reason I had that circle is because I know I want to pull it down a little bit or it's going to be too tall for my container. And see, method to my madness. And then we're going to do a little bit of this lighter green. This is called New Sprout. I put them both on the same mount because it's easy enough. Hopefully I have it somewhat lined up. Hey, yeah, not too shabby. And then I'm going to do the little candle with yellow. The little flame, I mean. And I'm really going to hope I got this right because my head is not on top of this. All right, that'll fit because by the time I go to stick it on the tin, it's gonna fit. So there we have. Isn't that adorable? Even not perfect, it looks good. And then I'm just gonna cut this out by hand. They do make dies for this. This is one of my brand new Stampin' Up things that I just got. And you can get dies to cut these out. We probably have to stamp them perfectly for the dies to line up. And I decided I was not going to cut this one out with a border. I cut the other one out with a border. I don't know which one I like better. I usually like a little border. I don't know. I thought I'd do this one just to be different. Because I can always hold the other one up that I kind of pasted together, and you can compare. Then you can see how you want to do it. Because that's what matters. Do it the way you want to do it. There's no rules. I mean, like, some dies cut them out with a border, and some dies don't cut them out with a border. It's, you know, different companies have different preferences, different people have different preferences. Oh my gosh, I just need to stop jibber-jabbering. Yeah, let's trim that off. All right, and now I'm going to check my, oh my gosh, this is almost dry. I'm just going to blast that with the heat tool just for a second to dry it a little bit quicker. Whenever you're drying or heat embossing on metal, make sure you don't hold the metal while you're doing this, or you're going to burn your hands because it will heat the metal up as well. So like, I wouldn't want to hold this on my hands and then use the heat gunner. I'd burn my fingers. Don't burn your hands off, guys. We don't want that. I think I'll just stick that on there like so. You can always put like a few, maybe we'll put a few sequins on there. That'll be cute. I'm going to use hot glue though to make sure it's stuck on there good. Plus we're going to use the hot glue for something else in a second. Stick that right down there. And it gives it a little dimension, which is nice. And then I want to make a border, and I'm going to use some pom-pom trim, which it's rolling across the floor now, the spool of it. But you can also find this at Paper Mart. It's really, really pretty. Just a really dainty little trim. I think I'm going to start it at the bottom. And I'm just going to, and again, you have to be careful with a hot glue gun and metal because it's going to make the inside really hot too. So be aware. And you're just going to glue this right around. You glue it right to the flat part of the top of the lid because it's not going to affect how it closes or anything, which is what we want. Right around to the start point. And as soon as we have that secured, we can just trim up the end. And I find this will cut with any scissors. You don't need to have your ribbon scissors for this. I just use my regular crafting ones, and it works out just fine. It doesn't tend to fray, which is good, but if you were concerned, you could put another little bit of glue there and just kind of pop it down. Now I think I'm going to just take a look and see what I have for some sequins, just to kind of give it a little bit of sparkle. You could also add a little bit of glitter if you wanted to, which would be pretty fun. I got some teal star sequins that I think would be really festive and cute on this for like a little birthday present. And they say the best things come in small packages. What could you put in this little box for a present? Oh, there's lots of things. You know, if you don't know what to buy, of course you could stick in some cash, which is something I am famous for doing, especially for teenage parties or, you know, tweens. You don't want to get them something that they're not going to use. And I'm just going to use a little bit of glue that I have in a fine tip applicator because I find that works really well. I'm just going to put a couple little dabs. I think 3. Things look good in 3s, so I think I'll just do 3. That one came a little bubbly. And then I will drop a sequin into each puddle, and then I'll just leave it to dry. And look how fun that is. I mean, it's so quick and easy. And the thing I love about doing something like this is that if I am given cash, I don't feel quite so bad because I actually handcrafted a cute little container. Thank you so much for watching today. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and check out our sponsor, Paper Mart. You can find them online at www.papermart.com. Packaging for less.